Hey Internet, a quick 20-second comment. I'm building a video library website with short clips like this that show the real life aspect of having a career or pursuing a certain career. Please comment below to say what kind of video interviews you would find valuable or your general comments on this interview. All right, thank you and enjoy. When did you decide, hey, development is something that I want to try as a career? Or did you know immediately that you wanted to do it?
Actually, I never thought I'd be a developer. I think if you talk to people that I grew up with, even in high school, they would say, "Oh, you're a developer now." They'd be shocked. I started developing with QBasic back in the day. Remember, I upgraded my parents' computer from a 486 to a 586 processor. We upgraded to, I believe it's MS-DOS 5.2. And so with that, I think the upgrade had a floppy disk, a hard disk on the back that had the installation. And within this QBasic book, they had intro programs, 101 type stuff. And I created an application that was a virtualized dice game. So essentially, it was just using a random number function. I think at that point, I got a lot of excitement seeing that I could take a piece of machinery and I don't know if you want to call it, intro to artificial intelligence, but I thought it was neat where it would think on its own and come up with a number that I didn't know was going to happen. I think that was the first step that I had in regards to realizing that A, I could be a developer, but B, maybe I don't want to be a developer, but C, I'm not necessarily going to rule it out.
And about how old were you at that time?
Oh boy, maybe 12?
Okay. For people that are on the fence about being a developer, I guess what would you tell them?
It's a good question. Everybody's at different places in their life at different points in time. And I think saying you're in high school, you have to determine what you're going to be for the rest of your life is incredibly difficult. I would say when I was in high school, I was probably a really bad programming student. If you talk to my teachers, it was definitely not the top of my class. And when I looked at it, it wasn't that I didn't understand the concepts. It's not that I couldn't come up with algorithms. It was just the sheer amount of time that it took to really sit down at a computer, solve a problem, and deliver something end to end. I found myself getting heavily distracted. So when I went to Purdue University, I was electrical and computer engineering technology, which I really enjoyed. I'd never had any background in it, which also was kind of discouraging because when I was in programming in high school, I wasn't, top of the class. When I was in college in this ECET degree, as it was labeled in an acronym, I wasn't the top of my class either, but I enjoyed them. I just was never super succeeding in anything, and I remember thinking to myself, boy, is this my career? I'm good at these things. I don't have to try that hard. But when you look at the people that were really succeeding, they either focused all of their time on it or they didn't, and they were just super geniuses. And I felt I couldn't really compete with either of those. And so if I'm giving advice, I would say, A, don't be discouraged. Find something you like. If you're not the best, you don't have to be the best. Because the odds are is you'll find something that you're the best at that may not be explicit to any kind of curriculum. Where I found that I excelled really was in business. I grew up in a family business. My dad was a veterinarian. He started a family practice, and being a family practice, it was all hands on deck, whether it was helping to mop the floors when somebody called in sick, or if there was a snow day. Those of you that know that in the animal world you can't get a day off. The dogs still have to go outside. So if you have 30 animals that still need to go outside and it's a blizzard, you have to commit and you have to do it because that's the right thing for the animals. It's not necessarily what's most convenient. So doing that, I saw a lot of the different aspects in business, but I knew that I was also inherently a good programmer because I picked up the concepts well. But there was never anything ever laid out to me that I could really say, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this. Well, you should be this. I always thought I wanted to be a lawyer. because I like to argue, and I made sometimes great points, sometimes absolutely horrible points, but if I made bad points, I stuck with it. So really I found myself wondering, how did I end up where I am in my career today? And that was being a solution architect, where you have to know business very, very well.
Questions on that. I guess, first of all, would you say that, I guess you mentioned that you were having trouble finding what your strength was, but is your strength kind of that hybrid between both understanding the human aspects of business and the more soft details of business, and then being able to smoothly couple that with the more technical side of development?
I would think, yeah, I'd say that's a great way to word it. There's people that are inherently better, but to be successful, I found you don't have to be the best, but I do feel that I have found that I succeed strongly in marrying both the presentation, the technical aspects, and that functional business side all together, and finding somebody that has strengths in not being the best in any one thing can be the best at marrying those things.